What we're looking at here is actually a specially designed ambulance stretcher that is designed to carry patients who are larger than the average patient.
Matt Savansky is a supervisor with MedStar, the ambulance company for Fort Worth, Texas.
I've been in EMS for 31 years and worked full-time in the field, and I can tell you that the patients that I see today, just like the human race in general, are growing.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, in 1980, when Savansky started, just 15% of Americans were obese and 1.4% extremely obese. By 2006, more than 35% of us were obese and 6% extremely obese. That means heavier people for EMTs to rescue, which means heavier duty equipment is needed.
The cot also has some ringlets that you see in the front of the cot that we have winches in the ambulance with ramps that we can actually electrically winch the patient very carefully and very safely from this position all the way up into the ambulance.
Even the regular stretcher paramedics use has been adapted.
So we can actually now take this buckle and buckle it into this side, and now we have a much longer strap that we can use to keep someone safely on the stretcher.
Next thing I had was like 8 big burly firemen as big as I am lifting me off of that one bed and onto one of their gurneys.
Donnie Claxton knows what it's like to be stuffed onto one of those stretchers. He's struggled his entire adult life with weight. 2 years ago, Claxton drove himself to a doctor's office when he thought he was having a heart attack. He remembers seeing fear in the doctor's eyes, but not about his heart.
The nurses and the doctor at the doc in the box were scared to death of me falling out in the floor there and then not being able to get me back up on the table. Pardon the pun, but it's a huge problem.
A problem so big, in fact, MedStar is replacing every single one of its ambulances, going with a beefier model that can handle more weight.
Giving us another 800 pounds of equipment and oxygen tanks and cardiac monitors and, quite frankly, people that we can carry on the ambulance.
Savansky says it's the only way MedStar can ensure the safety of its employees and patients when running emergency calls.
The last thing that we wanted to have happen was to go over the gross vehicle weighting of the truck and not be able to stop at an intersection or take a turn that's going to cause the ambulance to move so much that people start getting thrown around in the back of the ambulance.
MedStar hopes to have its entire fleet replaced by the end of this year. Rich Matthews, Associated Press, Fort Worth, Texas.